Hello everyone and welcome back to the live stream. I am excited for this live stream as usual because today we are gonna learn how to build mobile applications. Now, mobile apps have been taken an interesting turn in the recent years. So earlier, people would use to do native coding to build mobile apps, but with the advancement in libraries and softwares or packages like Flutter and React Native, right? It has been development. Mobile development has become so much easy, right? And I see a lot of people joining in. We got Nish. Hey Nish, hello. How are you doing? We got Scarlett. Yo, how are you, my friend? And then we get Organ Wanshi. Hello, how are you doing? I am doing great. Thank you for asking. We got TG underscore Gam. We got Aryan Garg. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the stream. So, as the name of the stream suggests, we are gonna build a mobile app. So, I tried out a few things. I know a couple of things with mobile app building, and I want to know from you which one do you all want to learn today, right? And I see we have got Kana over here. Hey, Kanha, how are you? Kana was with me on the live stream earlier where we had a lot of fun playing Sketchful. We got MVP, we got Priyanshu, got Piyu. Wonderful. All right, I see people are now started asking me questions, and I like that. All right. Okay. So the first question I see is Nisk is asking Android or iOS. That's a nice question. And there's another one from BU8 is asking for the prerequisites. All right. Okay. So let's do this. I, as I told earlier, with the advancement in technologies, we have some amazing frameworks or libraries or tools that we can use to create applications for both Android and iOS. So all these three things that I have used, I know about, you can use those things to build both Android and iOS. So that's gonna be fun. So we are not being limited to just one particular ecosystem. So Nish, I hope that answers your question. And talking about the prerequisites, let's first decide what we want to do, right? So let me start with the options, and then we can decide on what we want to do. So the first thing is of course React Native, right? So React Native is a mobile development software or a package or a platform that we can use, and it is built on top of React. So if you know React, or if you are aware, if you know JavaScript, we can do React Native. That's the first option. The next is Flutter, which is a very popular framework again for mobile development, which is based on the Dart programming language, right? The concepts are a bit similar, not exactly similar, but a bit similar to React Native, right? And the third one is something that you might have not heard before, is Bravo Studio. Now, Bravo Studio is a low-code platform, so we basically won't be writing code. The thing that I really like about Bravo Studio is that you design your app in Figma or Adobe XD, and you import that design, and Bravo Studio gives that whole app to you. Yeah, so it's like that, right? So it's without code, and it is really interesting. I have done a few projects with that, and I really liked it. So these are the three options that we can go with. So again, React Native, Flutter, and Bravo Studio, right? So which one do we want to go with? Do we want to write code with React, JavaScript? Do we want to write code with Flutter and Dart? Or do we want to not write code, just design stuff and see our app building, right? And I see there is a question around prerequisite for Bravo Studio. So the prerequisite for Bravo Studio is just to have an account on Figma or maybe Adobe XD, right? And based on how we want to do or how we want to build, we can then have we can then just need to have knowledge around those platforms. So let's just say we want to add let's just say we want to add a form, right, in our web application. We can just uh, add type form. So you just need to have then type form for it, as simple as that. Okay, so basically prerequisites are zero, and you can have talking about the pricing. It's free. You can have an create an account for free. You can build an app for free. You can even, if I'm not wrong, publish an app for free. I just have one caveat. It's that it would be published with their branding, so there would be a Bravo Studio logo somewhere. But that's fine, right? We are over here to run, so we can do that, right? All right, people. I see a lot of excitement going around Bravo Studio. Whoa, okay. I wasn't prepared for that. I have my terminal open and I was thinking it might be React Native or Flutter, so Bravo Studio seems to be more popular. Yeah, BU, yes, the logo would be there. Now, I haven't published an app using Bravo Studio, so I'm not 100% sure. But then you can, if you don't want that, you can always pay and get that removed, right? And Shivans also says the third one. Wow, okay. So a lot of folks are interested in using Bravo Studio, so that's wonderful. I am gonna wait for a couple of more seconds to see what other people want to do. I see a nice question. Flutter gives us options with both Android and iOS. What about Bravo? So Bravo also gives you the option for both Android and iOS. That's that's amazing, right? So first, you don't write code. Second, you get the app for both Android and iOS. So yeah. So I hope that answers your question. What I am gonna do is I'm gonna quickly share the link of Bravo Studio, right? So you all can take a look at it, see, just go through the website, see what it is, and then let me know what you all wanna do. While you all do that, I am gonna quickly log in to my Bravo Studio account and my Figma account, and let's see. I see Shivan says a nice message that says, I also want to learn React Native. That's nice. I also want to teach React and Flutter as well, right? So I am not sure. That's why it's your choice, right? I know it's a tough choice. Miss, I know it's a tough choice, and that's why you people have to do that. Come on, tell me. What do we want to do? Ooh, Kana says that my testimonial is on their page. Wow. Interesting. Interesting. I didn't know that. Where is it exactly? Ooh, I see. Interesting. Wow. Ah, that's nice. I didn't know that. That's wonderful. All right. So let's see. We could have more workshops for it later on. Yeah, we can always have workshops on the other two technologies. So let's finalize this, people. All right, let's do this on our Discord, right? For the announcement that I had, what we can do is let's use the emoji 1 for React Native, emoji 2 for Flutter, and emoji 3 for Bravo Studio, right? And I'm gonna wait just for 1 minute for that. Or maybe let me quickly start a timer so that you all know that I am not cheating over here. So I am on my phone, open the timer, and we want 1 minute. I've started the timer. So remember the announcement that I've made on Discord. use the emojis 1 for React Native, 2 for Flutter, and 3 for Bravo Studio, right? Where do I vote? It's on the Discord channel where I made the announcement. That's announcements LHD learn. It would be that channel. Scarlett says they're okay with anything. Scarlett, that's I love that. I love that, but we need to finalize this. We already have wasted a bit of time with that. And I see on Discord, Bravo Studio has got 5 votes now. React Native has just got 2. Flutter has got 1 vote now. And 3. Wow, okay, that was quick. Ooh, ooh. All right. Okay. No, come on, people. The time is up, and we are not still able to decide what we want to do. One last vote, and I'm gonna start the timer. Stop. All right. Okay. Everyone, stop. I see over here, Bravo Studio clearly wins. So I'm gonna go ahead with Bravo Studio, and we are gonna learn today how to create apps without code. All right. So what we are gonna do is let me quickly now bring my Bravo Studio screen in here. Okay, let me quickly see if I can bring it over here on another screen. Ooh, I see they have made a lot of progress and they have done a lot of changes. Perfect. So that's good. That's good. We might able to try out new things as well. So over here, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna quickly now share my screen, and you all can now see my screen. So this is on Bravo Studio. This is Figma, and we are gonna use Figma to create the UI of our app, as I mentioned earlier, and then we are gonna import that UI in Bravo Studio, and then we're going to create our app, right? So let's try how it works out. So now, since we wasted a lot of time just deciding the platform, I am going to go ahead with this idea that I kind of thought would be helpful for all of us, and that would be an events app. So this would list the events, and let's see what all features can we add as and when as we move forward, right? So how do you all think, how does this look like? Let's go ahead and create an events app, right? So as I told all we have to do is create a design. Now anyone over here, anyone over here an expert with Figma? Because i am I have used the tool, but I'm not an expert, so I don't know. Let's see. Design prototype. Okay, let's see this option. I see a couple of questions here. All right, I have a question from Ria asking, "Hey, I am late. Please tell me how much done." Hey Ria, you're not late. We are just starting out. So you are on time. We are just starting out with designing our application, and then we are going to create an application without code. We got a message from Lumberjack asking, is Bravo Studio an online platform? It is an online platform. How do we make the app functional though? That's the interesting part. So Bravo Studio has a lot of integrations, a lot of cool tricks that makes this app functional. Ooh, right. So, okay. I'm just going to go ahead and maybe close this. So the first thing I want to do is add a frame. Yes. And for now, I'm just going to go with, I don't know, iPhone 13 Pro Max. Looks good, does not have to be very fancy at this point, right? Now, the first thing we want to do is, this is an events page, right? And an events page, let's have, a header for our app where it gives the title of our app. So over here, I'm gonna maybe copy the rectangle, add it in here, right? And let's, I don't know, maybe change the color a bit. Maybe something blue. Yeah, maybe. Let's see. And we're gonna add a text. We are gonna call it. What should we call this? What should we call this? LHD event, maybe. If you have any other suggestions, just do let me know. Oops, this is not how you increase your fonts. That's interesting. So let's see, 72. Okay. LHD less cool. Oh, I like that. So let's not just, I'm just gonna remove the event and see is cool. Let's make a clone. Okay. Ah, that's a nice idea. So I can share this and you all can make a clone, right? But I am not sure if you folks would be able to use the same thing. What I can do is copy the link. Since this is not complete, you might see real-time changes, but I'm not sure if you would be able to make real-time changes. Let's see. So we got LHD, let's go. Looks good. Is Figma paid? That's a good question. Let others add it. Maybe later, I don't know. I don't think it would be a good idea if we all work together on the same file. So, yeah. But you all can see what I am doing on your own screen as well. And no, Figma is not like it has a generous free tier option, and that's what I'm using. Okay, so we have LHD, let's go. Works fine. Now, what we also want is, this is an event app, right? So it should definitely have the name of the event. And it should also have the date and maybe a photo of the event. So let's start from that and see how we can go. Now, this will be again a list of things, right? And for that, what we will have to do is we'll have to create a kind of a different section. So let's go first to the Bravo documentation. This is what we are looking at, what are Bravo tags. See, you can even add login with email and passwords. That's fancy, right? All right, let's see. Bravo tags, wonderful. What we want to look for is list. Find something. Build data to the UI for the list page. Looks good. Okay, all right. So we have a list. Get data from a table. That's okay. We are using this design file. See, what we can do is we can take a look at that design file and maybe try to replicate. Okay, I open. Ooh, interesting. This is, so they have this. This is interesting. I haven't seen this feature before. How to add dynamic data. That's not what we want. We want to see if there is, a different way of for this list, because there should be a tag that we will definitely have to use for our list. Let's see, app cases, sample design files. Yes. Integration, page components, mobile actions, model pages, pop-ups. We got so many options in here. Let's see, Figma apps, Spotify. Ooh, we got Spotify player as well. That's interesting. I'm gonna open the travel app because I think the travel app is the one that would that should have contained what we were looking for. But now how do I open the design file? Maybe duplicate this. See, that's how you do that. All right, so let's take a look of how they are designing this. So I'm just gonna close this. I'm gonna check this box, and it you see over here they are calling it as container. So these are the special Bravo tags. So whenever you add new components in your Figma, you need to check if it is following the uh, Bravo tags, because these are the tags that Bravo Studio uses under the hood to create the components for your UI. So we are gonna copy this. This is the list page which contains a container, and then the container has a menu bar which we right now don't need. What we need is this section. So just copy, not copy, but design our own container, right? So what we are gonna do is add a new frame, which would probably start from somewhere over here and would be this long, right? Remember what we had to do? We had to call this, use the tag container, and now within that frame, we are gonna add all the other components. So coming back to the sample app over here, here. All right. Now see, they have a location. That's fine. We don't need that. The price, all right. Activity name, image, and rectangle. Now there's another important thing to note over here. They are using asterisks in front of the activity name and then the image, because this is the data that is gonna come in from our API, and it is gonna create a list using that. So that's interesting. So let's just start with the image and maybe the activity name, or maybe we'll call it the event name. Okay, so what I'm going to do is maybe reduce the size of this container a bit, and inside this container we can have a rectangle which we are going to use for the image. So this is the container. This rectangle can be in here, and this is image. Now for image, I think there should be a different thing. If I'm not wrong, let's see. Oh yeah, okay. So this shouldn't be the image. The image should not be a rectangle. Instead, we should use the image in here. Ooh, no. Okay. Let's try it with the rectangle. Let's see how that goes. Because this is right now just a placeholder, and if I'm not wrong, it should work. Then they have made a lot of changes as well. Let's see. And then in the text, we are gonna have the event name. Ooh, that's huge. Let's reduce the size. Copy this and maybe 24. It's too small. 36 looks good. Just bring it on over here. And let's see. Okay. And maybe I'm just going to try to rename this. Let's see if it makes any difference in there. No. Perfect. So now we have a container which will contain the event name and the image. So what we are going to do next is go to Bravo Studio, right? We are going to go ahead and click on projects, new project. In here, it is asking us for a Figma file. So let's go to Figma. Let's first give this a name. Let's call this LHD. Let's go. And from the share again, I'm just gonna copy the link. Ooh, a lot of people has joined us. Interesting. Now, paste in here, create the project. Now Bravo Studio is importing a Figma design, and it is gonna create the whole file for us, right? So let's see. Okay, so this is our application. Like it does not do anything right now because we haven't connected it with anything, but this is how it would look like on our phone. Now i I would try to to show you how it looks on the actual phone, but maybe a bit later. Oh, we got two errors. An element cannot be imported into Bravo. Let's see what the error was. Text cannot be imported. Rectangle cannot be imported. Why? What did we do wrong? Did we do anything wrong? Let's see. Cannot match valid type for text. Okay, no problem. Let's see how that goes, and maybe later on we will fix it. Right now, you see there are options. So you can publish this. You can install on a device. You can have both Android and iOS. You can have notifications. So you can, once your app is ready, there's a new event, right? So you can create a notification, and this notification is sent to your app users. So it is so easy to now, have notifications for your app as well. And in the settings, there are, you can use Firebase, or you can use the OAuth 2 for login, for authentication. You can have Stripe integration. You can have versioning for your app, and again, you can have notification via one signal, right? So, all right, let's now try to connect this with a database. Well, let's just try to connect this with our database and see how we can move forward with this. So for the database, again, what we can do is we can connect it to a table, or we can create an API that we already have, and then make request to that. So if I go to database data collections, we'll need to create a new collection. You see it is giving us a lot of options, but because we are thinking of going low code, no code today, I'm going to go ahead with a table. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to quickly create uh, an table base. Let's see, I'm going to bring that on the screen so that you all can see it. So this is our table right now. So over here, let's rename this. We want this to be the event name. We also want our event to have an image. So we customize the field type. I'm going to call this image. And let's just add maybe, let's just do URL for now, see how that works. And maybe we can change that later on. So we have attachments, that's good. But I am not sure if Bravo would be able to use that. Let's do this. Let's try out attachments and see how that works, right? So let's do attachment over here. And our event should also have a date. So I'm gonna customize this field, call this date, and use the date field. I can change whatever format I want, right? So let's just do with local for now, save it. Now over here, I'm gonna create 3 different events maybe. Let's see, let's call this LHD learn, LHD build, and LHD share. And we need 3 images, right? I'm not 100% sure if I have any good images lying around on my computer, but let's see what I can get quickly up and running. Ooh, all right. I think I have any more. I at least have 2 images that I think we can use. So let's do that. It says drop files here. I am gonna drop a file in here. I'm gonna do the same for the other one. Let's see where it goes. I don't know where is it going. Over here. All right, and I'm gonna just use the same image for the last one, right? And this is the 10th. This is in January. I'm not sure about the date, so I'm just gonna go with maybe the 9th. And the next one, let's just say it's in May 8th, right? So we have events, we have an image, and we have the date. All right. Who used the Rickroll image? Ooh, I just saw your message. But let's do that for the next ones. Now I have that in my head. I'm gonna use that. That's a nice idea. I should have a Rickroll image as a backup. Hmm. Nice idea. Let's see. Okay, so now again, coming back to Bravo Studio, but before that, just remembered I should do this with you all. Share the view, create a shareable grid view here, allow viewers to copy the data. Perfect. Copy this, and I'm gonna paste it in the chat. So you all can take a look. You can duplicate the uh, database that we have created, and then use this as well. All right. So now let's integrate this and let's get this data in Bravo Studio. So again, I am under the data collection section. Click on create new collection. Now because we are using Airtable, I'm going to select Airtable wizard. It is asking for the URL. Let's see. Okay, I already shared the URL, so I'm using the same URL. I'm going to hit on continue. And now it is asking me for an API key. So let me quickly do that on this screen. So for the API key, I can just let quickly, walk you through what I am going to do. So in my Airtable, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to my account, and then I'm going to quickly copy, because I already have an Airtable API key generated for me. We could not find that Airtable. Please ensure that the share link is correct. All right. So I think I made a mistake with the share link. Can you all access the share link? If you all can, then Bravo Studio should be able to access it as well. Okay, let's try this once again. I hit share view. This is no. Okay, so this is the share and then the base. Now I see where I went wrong. But oh no, wait. So I have to select the base, and then but I don't want to invite anyone. I want to share this. Let's see, private read only link. Perfect. So I'm gonna copy this, come back to Bravo Studio, add it there, and hit on complete. Wonderful. So now my Airtable is connected with Bravo Studio. So I'm gonna hit on continue. And it's here. So what this will do is, if I just make a request now, if I do send, it makes the request, and we can now see our information. So we see that there is LHD share, there is this image. So this is basically now listing all the values in here, and this is what we wanted. So we now have the information. So we have a list of all the things. We can do the details view. So this will give us the detail of that particular event, right? But because this is a list, we just want the list, and that's perfect. It is already saved. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to projects, select our project in here, and click on this. And in here, we want the event name to be connected to event, and in that we should be list, and then that should be the event name. But why am I not able to select it? That is interesting. Detail. Ooh, so we have to go to detail and not the list. Perfect. And we also need the rectangle, but for some reason that's okay. So now I see what the error was, but no worries. Let's quickly close this. Maybe update this. Now to view this, we have to open Bravo Vision, which is an application. So if I click on this, preview the app, we'll have to scan this QR code. Now what I am gonna do is I'm gonna quickly try out something over here. I'm gonna quickly see if I can get this working on my phone and share and share my phone screen with you all. So I have my phone. I'm trying to scan this in here. Let's see. Okay. Perfect. All right. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna give you some time so that you all can be with me on the same step, but and just come back here in a minute. All right, people, I am here. I have got the phone. Now I just need to quickly see how we how you all can see my phone screen. Next. Try to start. There are so many steps. Let's see if I can quickly get this done. But anyone, is someone stuck somewhere, or are you able to access this? Yep, PFP is wrong. Your PFP is wrong. What do you mean by PFP? Kana, can you explain me and help me out? I'm not exactly sure what do you mean by PFP. Ooh, profile picture. Ooh. Uh, like wow, okay. That's a new abbreviation that I learned today. Yeah. TH wonderful. Isn't the abbreviation DP? That's yeah. I don't know, for some reason I have been using DP, so I was expecting DP as the abbreviation. I don't know, but yeah, never mind. Let's come back to our application, and what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna mirror my phone screen. Uh, Maybe I'll have to try something else. Let's see. This is a cool, neat trick that I learned yesterday. I don't know. I don't know what D stands for, Ghana. I don't know. Display picture. Yes, Shivans, you're right. It's display picture. All right. Let's see if I can get this. Hello again. And what I'm gonna do is, oh, perfect. So we have my iPhone screen now available, and you all can see it. What OS is it? So I am on Mac OS, and like just yesterday I learned this cool trick to share a screen, basically mirror my mobile screen or my iPad screen. So over here now you all can see the beautiful app, and maybe let's just bring this side by side together so we can see everything on the same screen. We don't have to move a lot. Perfect, this looks fine. Now, ooh, okay. So this should have worked, but it didn't work. No problem. What we can do is go back and see what we did wrong with our design. So the first thing I'm going to do is definitely the image is not right. It is a rectangle and we want it to be an actual image. So I'm going to delete this in here and select image. It's asking me over here. So I'm going to go to maybe downloads, and in here, this code is nice, right? Copy, paste, deploy. Ooh, no. Okay. Not what I wanted. The size was too huge. Let's try this once again. So I'm gonna do copy. I'm gonna this, and I'm gonna just have a small display image which would come in here, and we are calling this image. Perfect. So if I come to Bravo Studio once again, update this. So this is gonna fetch the changes that we made to a Figma file. You see, so there is the event name here. That's perfect. But we still have these errors. Why? An element cannot be imported. Text cannot be imported. Ah, okay. All right, people. I know what problem we are facing. So if you see in the screen over here, quickly get this down. Yeah, we don't see the header that we created earlier because this is not in the frame. So what we'll have to do is we'll have to bring this in the frame. Oh, the rectangle should be on the top. Huh. But now why don't we see anything here? This is interesting. So the color looks good. Okay, let's take some inspiration from their design and see what they did. So they had a menu, they had a list page. Ah, all right. So what we can do is maybe we create a new frame, right? Let's undo these changes, and I'm gonna go ahead, create a new frame which would be basically a wrapper for this. And you can see it already did that for us. I'm just gonna quickly call this header so that we know what we are doing over here in Bravo Studio. Refresh this, and hopefully we don't have any errors now. Wonderful. So we debugged the issue that we had earlier. Now update with Bravo. Let's see. All right. So we have got this working. That's wonderful, right? So we now are able to see what we want to see in here. Okay, that's perfect now. But now the problem is we are not getting the name of our event from our table. So let's go again to Bravo Studio or over here. Let's see what the problem is. If I come in here, if I go to details and we just list, if we send in a request, we get some information, right? Now over here we don't need the record ID, we need the event name, we need the image, maybe the image URL, the file name, yeah, maybe everything around with the image, I guess. And yeah, okay, so this looks fine. And it says it's saved. If I click on this, okay, perfect. That looks good. Come back to our application, right? Now I have the frame, which is an items, which should be an event, which should contain something from the details page. Ooh, no, from the list page, the records. Okay, but so this is the event name, which should be the event name. And for the image, we again come in here. Okay, what's this details? Yeah, this is the details. Event, detail, and the image, I guess. So now if I update, this should work. And if I come back over here to our application, how do I, yes, update with Bravo. And let's see, ooh, this is still not working. That is interesting. Okay, let's see. Select the UI elements you want to bind with the API data. That's what we did, right? With the event name in here. Let's take a look at that design. So they have location, price, the activity name, the image, then a rectangle. All right. Yeah, this is what we did. Okay, let's take a look at maybe how they are binding this. Browse sample map. Huh. Okay, let's do this. Learn with articles, learn with videos, navigating, setting up, vision. Connecting to APIs. Yes. Creating an API collection, set up an API GET request for a list page. This is what we want. So we did this. We created that. We had the headers and the authentications. Received data if you are selecting data that you want to populate into a list. Arrays, that's perfect. We already had all. This is interesting. So under selected data, we can specify what we want. All right, that's interesting. Let's try it out. Yeah. And I see there are a lot of messages in this chat. How are you sharing the screen from phone and PC at the same time? That's the magic. Well, basically, I am on Mac OS. I am just sharing my phone screen using QuickTime Player, which is a nice cool hack that I learned yesterday. And Coastal Coastal Demigod is back over here, and they are asking on what platform are we creating the app. So we are using Bravo Studio today to learn how we can create the application without writing code. So what we did was we created a sample design in Figma. And Bravo created that app for us. Oops, not what I wanted to show. All right, now we are all good. Perfect. So we created an app on Figma and we then imported that design and Bravo created the app for us. Now we are now mapping the data that we have in this beautiful Airtable and trying it to connect with our application. Right. So we are creating an event page which should display a list of all these events. And there's a next question which I like. So the app created would be platform independent. Yes. So it would be platform independent because if I go back, if I hit on publish in here, you see that you can have both Android and iOS. With just we are not writing any code over here, and we are getting both Android and iOS app. So that's pretty cool. Start binding your design. That's what we did. Let us go back again to the collection. Come in here. We are in the list view. Just gonna call it this event list. I'm gonna send the request and the selected data. We don't want. Okay, the first thing you want to make sure this is all. Yeah, and then ooh, a lot of information. In the list view, we want to show the event name. Okay, the date, but I cannot select that. Why? I am not sure. Hmm, this is interesting. Earlier, I was able to get everything, but why this is happening with me today? All right, let's try to understand what is happening. Now let's actually go ahead and go a bit slow. Try to read and try to understand what is happening. So we got the list, right? We already have authenticated ourselves. This is the information. Press send and we receive the information. If you encounter any messages, that's perfect. We are not encountering. How to select data items to use in your app. Alright, we already have it. And then we next check the box. Okay, so let's come back to our app. Let's send the request once again. It comes back here. Now we have to check the box. So we need the LHD share. We don't want all this information. Just gonna deselect them, uncheck them. All right, quickly let's do that. Because I am assuming that our app should be able to only just get the data and render it out. So this looks good. Now if I come to selected data, all right. This panel you can specify a name for the data you are receiving. Okay, it can also be used in the request. That's okay. So this is basically setting up a variable. So that's what we don't want to do. Where is the docs? Over here. So we got that. Now what we want to do is bind the data to UI list for a list page. Yes. So in here we select. Maybe I know what I am doing wrong. After referring to that, I think I know what I'm doing wrong. Let's see. Come in here to our app. Select the app. I'm gonna select the frame first, and this should be event, and it should be event list. And now this should be again. Let's say event list. No. Why? Why is this happening? The frame should contain all the records. Huh. Multiple request pending is available. This is interesting. I think they might have changed something. I don't know. Functional. So I have an event name and I have the. Wait, let's just update this first. While we do that, let's come in here. Let's see. So see, select the container and then frame name activity card. See, should there selected activity card and then okay. This is getting interesting. What do you think? Is anyone able to figure this out? Or are you all stuck at where I am? Tell me, folks. I am at event name. I've got the event name, that works. And then the image is, yeah, image 0. It's all good. If I come to my phone, if I try to refresh this, update with Bravo, see if this works. No. So definitely making some mistakes in here. Do you have an asterisk in here? That's wonderful. All right. So what I am going to do is I'm going to try out a different approach because we want to learn how this works. And for some reason, this is not working as I expected it to be. So we are going to follow that guide, right? And we are going to use that design file, use that table, and try to map this and see what they are suggesting and what we are doing wrong over here. Let's open the design file. Let's open this table. And I'm going to click on, all right, so we already have this. So that's perfect. We don't want it anymore. So we want this adventure list table. I'm gonna copy the base. Will copy that base for me. Yep. Add to base. Let's see. It's in here. I'm gonna close this. I'm gonna share this. Paste again. Private read only link. And I'm gonna copy this. Right. Now what we want to do is come again to Bravo Studio and create new collection. Again, this is going to be a table. Now I am going to take again to a different screen because I have to enter my API key. So I enter my API key, complete the process, and you all can see that it's connected. So that's wonderful. If I hit on send, it sends the request, it returns the information. All right. So now let's try to import or create a new file. We already kind of duplicated this, so all I have to do is copy the link, come to Bravo Studio. This is why I like Bravo Studio. All I have to do is go in here and start. Let's try this option. No, okay, this was the docs. Interesting. I'm just trying to find if there is a button to create an app. No, never mind. Let's come in here, click on new project. I just pasted the link of my Figma design. It's gonna import it, and this should hopefully work. Let's see. All right, no errors. That's nice. Now in here, we open this. We want it to be this frame. Yes, the image. But let's see what this tells us now. So the first thing we want to do is select collection and request you previously created. All right, adventure listing. Okay, interesting. Just gonna close this and just asking me for data binding, but not that option. Okay, so maybe the documentation is not up to date. So let's come to image, adventure listing, to list, records. That's interesting. So if I'm importing records over here, I was quickly able to do that. Huh. Let's see, for the image, we want to do photo 0 maybe. For the activity name, let's just select activity name. We're gonna close this. I'm gonna now open this app instead of our event app. Right, so Power Studio sample. If I open this, let's see what it does. Ooh. So we didn't selected the correct image, but we can now see that it is showing us the whole list. So that's perfect. So let's take a look at the design file and try to understand what they are doing and what we should have done. Right, so this is a separate list page, that's fine. And then they have a container. And we also had a container in a design, right? So if we come back to our design, we also have a container. That looks good enough to me. Okay, so we have a container which is an image. They have a container which is it has an image and then an activity type. Okay, can anyone help me with the debugging here? What am I doing wrong? We have the event name, image, and then the event name. So I'm doing the same thing, right? So our design contains the same thing. So it's the activity name, the image. And then the rectangle, which we right now don't need, or maybe we do. Or we don't. I don't think so we do. Yeah. Let's see. What about the functionality? Are we there yet? We are not there yet, so I am trying my best to figure this out first. So I think I have figured it out. Let's see. Okay. Okay. No. I'm bad. I'm sorry. Oh, I could not figure it out. There's a list page. There's a container. But hopefully, if you help me, we will be able to figure this out. Right? Because what I want to do next is try out a like button. So when someone likes that, we make a request and then do something, right? So that can be interesting. What's the issue you are facing? So the issue we are facing right now is mapping that data. So if I come back to projects, right? If I open a project, if I come over here under frame, wait, huh? Let's. I am a bit now suspicious about this thing. So when we did that, okay, let's come to frame. Let's try this out. We're gonna call it event. We're gonna call it event list, and this is gonna be records. See, it's just asking me to upgrade. But if I'm doing it on that application, I don't have to upgrade. So I'm not sure what am I doing wrong in here. If I do details, no, right? I don't want the detail. I want this to be a record of things. Let's quickly take a look for not this page, but this page. So we are doing the frame again. We selected adventure listing. I'm just gonna do event for now. Let's see. Event list. Records. Ooh. So there's something maybe with our table. That's interesting. That is interesting. Alright. So let's close this. There's the activity name. In the design, they are calling the activity name as well. Alright. So we are doing everything fine. It's I think because there's now a restriction on Bravo Studio's end. That's why we are not able to display our page. So maybe what we can do is be a bit creative here, right? And we call this, and maybe let's just leave it to be activity and come in here, go to our app once again, and in frame under event name we don't do in here we do adventure listing, adventure list, records. No, no. All right, let me quickly delete this project. Don't using it anymore, and delete the sample app. Hopefully this should give us the bandwidth or the permission that we need. No? Looks like Bravo Studio does not want us to continue with this. Huh. Interesting. So let's do this. Let's go create a new project. Gonna come in here, copy the link, and maybe we start playing around. Are you is anyone else facing the same problem that I am facing? Because I am sure I have been using Browse Studio for a while now, and that is why I might have to get into a paid subscription. Because let's just say I did a lot of things with Browse Studio in the past. All right, let's quickly wrap this up with this, and for the image, let's see what exactly we want to use for the image. Activity card. That's all right. Oh, so we have to use the URL for the image. Perfect. So let's come to Browse Studio. We are in the image. Let's do the full URL. Right, come to activity and then select activity name. For the price, we are gonna do, where are you? Where are you? Where are you? The price or not? Okay, I don't know. So what should this be? The category? I don't know. All right. Hmm. And the location is also gonna come in from here. Perfect. So I'm gonna, if, yeah, I feel that as well. Kana says that they feel that they should have chosen Flutter. Yeah, but now mind, we learned, right? We learned how we can create apps. There's we hit a roadblock, which is because I might have to get to a paid subscription because I am using Bravo Studio for a while, as I mentioned earlier, right? But that's fine, right? We are learning over here. We learned how we can quickly prototype our app, build our app, and see that live in here. Ah, right, yeah, because we deleted the app, so we'll have to go back and select the app once again. So now I open this, voila. So we have our app up and running. Now this is, so what we did now, we just connected our app, right? We created a list for things, but it's still, if we select, a particular event or a particular activity, it is, it just shows some dummy data, which is not ideal, right? So if someone wants to see, okay, self school, this looks interesting. I want to learn more about it. I open it and oops, there is just some activity dummy data. This is where we will now go ahead and add the data for this particular activity, right? So in here, let's select the header, which is going to be the detail, which is none. No. This is the activity image that we want, right? The detail, but that was none earlier now. Okay, that's perfect. So in header, what we want is the activity image. So let's just say full URL, and the location would be the location, and the price again would be this price. And now we have rating as well. So let's see if we can quickly find rating in here somehow. No. Okay, so we don't seem to have rating in our table, or do we? Let's quickly take a look. Description. Nah, we don't have rating. So that's fine. We don't need that. And we got price, that's done. What we also want is, so the header part is done. In this frame, we have the activity name. So let's quickly select the activity name. And then let's give it a description. And the last one is book now. For this would be, the website link. So that's done. So what I'm gonna do is go back to my app and refresh, update with Bravo, and hopefully this should work. All right, so we again see the list, and the quad bike tool looks interesting. If I open it, it works. You see that we now have the quad bike image, the information, the price, and everything. This is interesting. So what I want to do is just want to quickly go through that design file, because the design file is what is really important in here. Because as I mentioned earlier, Bravo Studio uses a lot of tags, right? So we saw over here, we first use the container tag to tell Bravo Studio that this is a container. We then over here in the home page of our app, we have another container. We are telling it this is on the top, and this should be, this should be hidden when it's scrolled. So remember, we didn't write code for this. If I come back to our application quickly, scroll up, it hides, but if I scroll down, it does not hide, right? So all we had to do was tell that, add that in the tag name, and it added that functionality for us. And if I open the detail page, we see now we have various layers. If I can just quickly hide this, maybe, no, okay. So let's come in here in the details page. We have various layers, right? So what we are doing is in this each layer, we're just specifying elements. So this is a button. There is another container. So we are using the container tag, which contains the description. And if you see, we are using one more tag, that is flex O. So we are telling, how we want this to be displayed on our app with this flex. There's another container, the activity name, and then the header container, which is this particular section, which contains the image, the activity name, the location, the price. Wow. So a lot of things, right? So this is how Bravo Studio makes it easy to create the application. Now I know we kind of got a bit of some issues with that, but we now know how it works, right? I see a question coming in the chat. Can we use a NoSQL DB like MongoDB with Bravo Studio? Yes, you can do that. So again, if I go back to Bravo Studio, and if I come to data collections, and if I click on create new collection, you see what we can, select from a table. If we have a database, we have a data in MongoDB, we have an API, so we can select that particular. So I can do start from scratch. I can just give it a name, maybe let's just see API data, save, and then I can add, the URL for this. So if I can quickly find the API that I am looking for, which I am kind of a huge fan. I love this API. So let's see. Okay, I have the API. So I'm going to copy this, paste in here. I'm going to send a request. You see it send the request and all the data. So this is a Pokemon API. So all this data lives in here under the result. So I got the result. Then I can, let's see. Yeah. So under the result, then we have the name and then the URL of that Pokemon. So I can select that, which I want, to return. And let's try this. Let's, using the same app, let's try to render Pokemons instead. So if I go back to our app, and here for the frame, we are doing adventure list. This time I'm going to select API data, my quest. This is going to be the results, and I expected this to be. But yeah, this is the process that you would take if you have, your own API. Now, I am not 100% sure why I am facing this problem today. Maybe, just the demo gods are not on my side today and they want to throw these challenges at me, but never mind. I can always show you how the things are done. So for MongoDB or any of your database, all you have to do is create an API and then going into data collection, create that API, create that connection, and then you can use it. The original MRSJ says demo cards. That's a thing. Trust me, demo cards are real, my friend. Demo cards are real. Every time I do a live stream, I do a talk, I do live coding, I pray to demo cards. And today I didn't do that. And that's why we are running into these issues, Trust me, demo cards are real. All right, people, let's try something else. So let's go to the documentation and see what other features we can add. So there's navigating with the project. So we were able to do that, right? We were navigate from one page to another. That's fine. Learn with videos. Nah. Let's take a look at some app cases. Ooh, so they have a social content sharing app for food. I like that because I always share on my Instagram whatever I am cooking, whatever I am eating. So that's an app that I would definitely be a part of. I would definitely sign up for. So you see, they have this looks like Instagram but for food. So this is interesting. So they also have given us a sample project. That's nice. And this is the whole tutorial. So if you are interested in creating something like this, you can follow along the tutorial and create the app. And I see that they have also added link to an article that I wrote earlier. So I'm going to quickly go to that blog post and just talk a bit about this app that I created. So this app is basically an expense tracker, right? Now, I started working for the full-time role this year, right? And because I was, getting my own salary, I could spend it the way I want. But it's always a good practice to, keep a track of the expenses. So I thought, let's try to, have a let's try to create an app which I can use to, keep a track of all the expenses. So I went ahead doing taking the low code approach, and I created this app. So what this app will do is it will open a type form where I can then take a picture of the receipt. If you see, I'm just taking a picture of the receipt, and I'm gonna submit that to type form. And this is again all inside Bravo Studio. It's gonna upload it, and I'm gonna hit on the submit button, and that's it. That's done. Now if I go to my app, automatically all the expenses are now displayed. So what it does, it uses a lot of things at the back end. So I'm just going to quickly go through them. Right. So let's see this. So this is again the design and explaining, the structure around the application. And if I come in over here, so the first thing is we need to connect it to Airtable because I was using Airtable as the database. So over here, I'm just showing the steps on how you can connect it to Airtable. And then these are the different services that I am using. Now, as I mentioned, whenever I open the app and I click on add new receipt, it takes me to type form. Again, that is happening within the Bravo app. So I am embedding the type form in my application. And then I am clicking the picture of that receipt, sending it to type form. And once it is sent to type form, I have a N8N automation workflow, which is doing the rest of the things. So you see, it gets the receipt from Typeform. It makes a request. It is getting the image. It is sending this information to a service that's called Mindy. So Mindy is this amazing AI tool or a AI service that you can use to extract information from receipts, from documents, from license plates. So the possibilities are kind of endless with Mindy. So I'm sending that to Mindy. Mindy returns this information. So it returns me, let's see, the name of the merchant, the type of the expense, if it's food, if it's travel, if it's miscellaneous, stuff like that. It also returns the amount that I had spent. It also returns the date of the transaction. So now I'm using another integration or a node in N10, which is setting up that information. So because Monday is sending me a lot of information. I don't want to, use all that information. So I'm just using the set node to set all this information, and then I'm storing it in a table. And then of course, Bravo Studio fetches that in a table. So let's quickly, let's see over here. All right, so I'm gonna skip it. It's showing how you can create the typeform trigger. So I added the typeform node. I come in here, save my workflow. I'm executing this node. I'm submitting a receipt, and now I get the URL of the receipt from typeform. Once I have that receipt, what I do is I come to my application once again, my workflow once again, use a HTTP request node, get the URL, make a request, and then if I click on binary and click on show binary data, it shows me the receipt. The next thing is, as I said, connecting it to Mindy. Okay, that's quick. Connecting it to Mindy, sending it the data. Let's quickly look what it is doing. If I execute now this node, it is going to return me the information that I need basically for my app. Right. So as I said, Monday is returning a lot of things. So if I show you here, it's giving me the category, the date, the currency, the locale, so what language the receipt was in, the merchant, the taxes that I had to pay, the time, even the time, right? And then the total amount. Now that's it. What I want is I just want the amount, the merchant, the date, the time, the receipt URL, and the category. So I'm setting that up, and let's go in here, and I'm adding an Airtable node so that all this information gets appended to my Airtable. So let's quickly jump in. If I execute this, it's going to append this information to Airtable, and that's it. Now if I go back to my application, I would be able to see this receipt in my application, right? So Coastal Demigod says that's a really cool app. I know, right? That's such a fascinating app, and I didn't really need to code for this. So that was fascinating as well for me. And the original MRSJ is asking me for the link of this blog. Sure, so here is the link of this blog. It should be on Twitch anytime now. All right. So is that link of this blog? So you can try it out, create this for your own use cases, and yeah, as I said, the possibilities are kind of endless with low code approach. Okay. All right. I see we have roughly 30 minutes. So I don't want to go too much deep into any of these things, but what maybe we can do is answer any questions that you folks might have, right? So this can be on Bravo Studio, Figma, maybe a bit on Flutter or React Native if you folks have any particular questions around that. If you want to learn anything around those things, maybe we can quickly see how we can do that. I'm not too confident, but yeah, let's see. I want to know from you all, what do you all want me to do for the next 30 to 35 minutes? Ooh, Coastal Demigod says something about the SMS API. That's interesting. So I have played a lot around with Twilio, right? So Twilio is this platform or a service which you can use to, for a lot of things. And SMS is one of the interesting things that I liked, and I've played around with that. So I would definitely try out Twilio if I were you, because they have really good documentation and really good blog. This reminds me of some articles that I had wrote for Twilio. I am gonna quickly find it, try to find it on this screen, and hopefully share it with you soon. Let's see if I can get that. Uh-huh. Yes. So, this is my website where I kind of aggregate and also add more articles that I write around. So I wrote an article for Twilio. So if I can just get you the original link, that would be nice. There's another one, React hooks, no, web accessibility, cation, boot crawl. Yeah, I could not find that, but yeah. So wait, no, this is the wrong link. Wow, okay. We found a bug in my blog. That's interesting. Yeah, but never mind. So in this article, I'm just basically helping people learn how they can create again an automation workflow, which would get the data from a table and then send SMS using Twilio. Right. This is one of the articles that I wrote for Twilio. Okay, if I would be I could find it, the original one, because I wrote another article on Twilio, which was around how you can enable SMS services with, or maybe integrate Twilio with Auth0. So whenever someone logs in or whenever someone uh, changes their password or signs up for your application, we can send them then an SMS using Twilio. That was something another that I kind of explored. And with Twilio, that I like Twilio because the documentation is good and the API is easy to use. So I hope Coastal Demigod that kind of helps you. And I see another question. What projects would you suggest for a real beginner to Figma and Bravo? Are there any basic tutorials you recommend? That's a nice one. So here, there is this nice documentation that Bravo has. I'm gonna quickly share the link in the chat. So I would start with the documentation because you can see there are a lot of information. Let me zoom in, go full screen now because we don't want that. So you can learn it with videos. So there are, trust me, a lot of cool videos that people have already shared and created around Bravo Studio. So you can try that out with videos, or if you are someone who likes to learn via articles, you can always go and learn via articles, right? The first thing that I would say to around Figma, I would say to just understand the different things that Figma has, the different components. So like rectangles, frames, text, and stuff like that. So right now we created basic things. So we use frames, rectangle, image, and then text. So just start with the basics. Now something very specific with Bravo Studio are the Bravo tags. So over here you see what are Bravo tags. So if I open this, you will see it's a text string that you place in the layer name of your design file. So what it means is if I come over here, we see that the container, so this is a Bravo tag. Again, this particular name, maybe let me zoom in. Okay, this does not zoom in, but hopefully you are able to see this. So this is the name that they have, and this is basically a Bravo tag. So this Bravo tags tell Bravo Studio what this particular layer is for and then Bravo Studio automatically understands that and generates that kind of component for your application. So definitely, uh, I would definitely encourage you to learn about Bravo tags. So you can see they have for loading, they have a tag for different states. That's if you want to have a loading screen, you can have a tag and stuff like that. For containers, you can see what kind of containers. So there's a top bar, horizontal slider, and stuff like that. Then you can have special pages. So an intro page, a loading page. So that's a lot of stuff that you can do. And someone was earlier asking me about the functionalities. So you see, you can play audio. That's interesting, right? So if we see here, we have to use this tags. It's audio play URL or action play URL. For the pause, it's gonna be action pause and stuff like that, right? So there are a lot of things that you can do with this tags. So all you have to do is design your app in Figma. Make sure that in those layer names you are using uh, that particular tag. I see another question coming in. What exactly is the work as an SDE does? Is it something like we as devs are already doing, or is it something else altogether? That's a really good question, and I really like that this question. So, just to help everyone know what SDA is, so SDE basically stands for Software Developer Engineer, Software Development Engineering, and the day-to-day task is kind of what we do every day, right? Right now, because we are students, right? We can create our own apps, we build things that we want, and we don't have a proper roadmap for what we want to do, right? So the way how it looks at a company when you're working is you get exactly what you get a roadmap and you're told like this is the feature that we should add or we should implement, right? So it's what we are doing on a day-to-day basis as a dev, but based on the company, or based on what which team you're working with, the technologies might change, the way you approach things is definitely going to change. The original Mr. SJ says, whoa, that seems really easy. Thanks, Harshil. Yeah, I know that's easy, right? So that's why I kind of got into Bravo Studio because again, we can do search and filter, we can do scan QR code, we can share location as well. So there are a lot of things that we can do, and we don't have to necessarily write a code. All we have to do is create our app design on Figma, make sure that we are using the correct Bravo tags, and that's it. We are then able to create our application for both Android and iOS as well. Now you see they have push notification, they have pagination, they have even one-time payment with Stripe, which makes this application or which makes Bravo Studio more interesting. So if someone is curious how this works, so you see with push notification, we have to use one signal. If you haven't used one signal, it is kind of a service that hmm, that allows you to send notifications to your application. Right now, there are a lot of other approaches to do that, and one signal provides that. So if you see, all you have to do is create this tag and it's magic. It's you click on that button and it's gonna send a push notification. And then you go to again, obviously you have to go to Bravo Studio and enable that and you are good to go. So this is now something which is very specific and it is for a live environment. I'm not gonna go into the details of this. You can always, learn about this from the documentation. But if you see just, following the steps, creating, configuring a bunch of things, and you are good to go. You don't have to basically write code for this. Okay, I see there is, but this is again an optional query string. So yeah, you don't have to write code for this, right? An interesting question around React Native I can see on the screen. Can we add CAPTCHA to our app made with React Native? It's not out of context question. We are still talking about creating a mobile application. So we can add CAPTCHA. Let's try to quickly search for that. So maybe in here, let's see, add CAPTCHA, CAPTCHA to React Native. Like I have few apps which are built on React Native and which use CAPTCHA. So definitely you can do that, but I haven't tried it myself. But I am sure there is an option. You see, there is there's also I love this library just because of the name React Native CAPTCHA that works. But there is an article that I was quickly able to find out. So it is possible with that. I would suggest you try out the articles, try out different libraries that we have out there, and yeah, it is possible. It's something that you can do. And always I think if you find if you're stuck somewhere, I feel with the possibilities to have the web view, it's kind of interesting because then you can kind of embed the web part in your mobile app, so you can still then do that, right? All right, people. So do we have any more questions? We got 20 more minutes, so I can take more questions if we want. We can talk about something else, or we can try quickly try to build a new app. Ooh, I just thought of a new challenge for myself and for all of us today. But I'm gonna wait for 2 more minutes to see if we have any questions. And if not, maybe we try out this challenge that I just thought of all of a sudden. All right, no questions coming in. So let me open my terminal, close this. So what I am thinking right now is to what is the challenge? That's nice. That's a nice question, and that's what I'm gonna answer now. So what I am thinking is let's see if we can create an application for this Pokemon API that I just showed. Or maybe quickly show it again on here. Poke API. Right, so the Poke API in here. So maybe let's try to create a application in React Native for this Poke API, right? And let's just try to do that in 10 minutes. Yeah, let's see how quickly we can create this. What do you folks think? Would this be fun? I'm just gonna quickly start because it's 5:40, but I'm gonna take a quick look at the chat as well, and let's see this. So you folks would have to keep on helping me because I am touching React Native after a while. So let's see, Pokemon app. We are using Expo. We want to just have a blank app for now. Let's run this. Let's run this. Come on, come on, come on. It's installing Java dependencies. Now, this is the thing, which is going to take a lot of time is installing these packages, right? While we do that, I'm going to take a look at the question that we have from Coastal Demigod. When we create a backend using Node, it by default gets hosted on HTTP on most of the platforms. What is the procedure to add SSL to the hosting, say on Heroku, Netlify, Azure, AWS. Ooh, that's a nice question. So I am gonna code and I'm gonna answer that. Let's see how good I am with that. So with this, it generally is depending on the platform because you have to add an SSL certificate. So you will have to probably take a look at this platform where you are hosting it. Uh, so yeah, I know not a useful answer or not the answer that you were looking for, but that's that's the answer that I have. But if someone has another answer, just let me know. All right, so Expo app is up over here. So I hopefully you all also can see the emulator on the screen. It's loading. It's perfect. But what I want to do is I want to come quickly in our app.gs file. This is where all our code lives. So let's quickly see if it renders. Okay, it's still uh, inch iOS bundle JavaScript is running. While that is happening, I want to see how we can make API calls just to make sure that I am correct in what I'm thinking, right? So API calls in React Native. And with just 2 minutes are already done. So that's not a problem because we have our app kind of up and running. And all right, so we can use fetch. So that's perfect. This is what I wanted to check. So I'm going to come back over here. It's still installing. It's taking so much time. But it's 97% done. Let's see. I don't want to write any code right now before I hit this. Perfect. So we can see it says OpenJS app.js to start working on your app. So if I come in here, I say hello LHD, local day, and hit automatically reloads the app for us. So this is wonderful. This is wonderful. Now what we want to do is we want to make a request to this Pokemon API, right? So I'm going to quickly copy this code, come in here, paste this, change the endpoint. So let's go to Poke API. Where are you? You are here. Now what I want to do is get, yeah, let's just get, 100. I'm going to quickly copy this and paste it in here. We are, yeah, let's just get 10. This would be a get request, content type, looks good. Ooh, all right, but this is just fetching the request, right? We need to map this to something, right? And I think they would have the option. Yes. So over here, you see that they have created a function, which is what we are going to do. So let us come and okay. I'm just trying to understand where they are setting up this values. So if we check this, they do fetch. This is where they are setting this, right? All right. So I'm going to quickly copy this. Uh, okay, never mind. Quickly copy this, paste it in here. This is the URL that we want. Wow, this is interesting. Do you folks think that we would be able to complete this in the next 5 minutes? Let's see. Const, this is Pokemon data and set Pokemon data. Yes, I see a yes. That's wonderful. I like that fit. Thank you for encouraging me. I love that. And this is going to be an array. So I'm just going to leave this an empty array. We got this. That's wonderful. Now I'm just going to again going to take a sneak peek at their code. All right. Now I want to set the data. All right. So let's do this. The original Mr. SJ is encouraging me. I'm sorry. I'm trying to code and I'm also trying to read the messages. But yeah. So one thing I know, this Poke API returns this list inside the results. So what I want to do is instead of JSON, I want to call this results. But what we also want to do is we want to set the data. So that this is set Pokemon data, and this should be uh, JSON dot results. Hopefully, hopefully this is how it should work. And I'm gonna quickly copy the use effect function. So what use effect does is every time the state changes of our application, it's gonna make the request. It is get. I'm just gonna quickly rename this to data, and I'm also gonna call this get data. And one last thing that I'm gonna do is console log this application, save this, come back to our application, and no, we ran into an error. That's not we want, right? Okay. So the error says it cannot find use effect. That's not a problem. We just have to add use effect. Basically, we are importing use effect from React. If I come back here, perfect. So we got the JSON data. In here, we can see the JSON data. That's perfect. And we haven't yet rendered the information. And we still have 3 more minutes. So let's again, just copy some code from here, come to our app. I am gonna do flat list, and because we are using flat list, now we have to import flat list. This is data, that's perfect. Ooh, we don't want this, hopefully. So the instead of name, now this should be, sorry, instead of title, this should be name. I'm gonna just remove this for now because, ooh, do we have an image tag? Yeah. All right, 2 more minutes. People, help me out. Help me out. How do I add image? Should it just be image and then source maybe? No. All right, let's just try out image a bit in a minute. Let's just see how this works. Ooh, we ran into an error. Cannot find variable data. That's interesting. Ah, right, because we are calling that Pokemon data. So let's see this. We had Pokemon data. Come in here, and we get 10 Pokemons in our app, right? So let's try to prettify this a bit. We got 1 more minute. Let's see if we can quickly find how we can work with image. All right, there is an example. That's perfect. That's what we want to see. So image should have a source. Okay. Okay, let's try it out. So then this would be the image tag, which has a source, which would be item.url maybe. Yeah, but now it gives us an error. I don't know why. Maybe because we don't have image. We have image. Oh, come on. Let's see. Import text is there already. Ah, I know what the problem is. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna wrap this all up in a view because we can only return a single view. Save this. No, no. But what I'm gonna do is just take 1 more minute because come on, that the loading the app and installing this libraries took some time. So let's see what the error is over here now. Text string must be rendered within text component. Are the text string is being rendered within a text component. I know that the challenge is shown you to complete, but I don't know what the problem is. As soon as we added the image, I think that's when we started getting the problem, right? So if I remove the image, if I save this, if I come back over here, we don't see any error. But the problem is with the image. But why? Okay, I think I know the problem because we are using src. Yes, the original Mr. SJ, you are right. It should be SOURCE. Save this. Come back to. Invalid prop shows SOURCE. That's what I typed earlier, right? No. Alright. So I know what the problem is because we need to have the style for our image because that's basically, telling it what height and width we want. So that's okay. Let's just copy pasting stuff. Keen, I guess. And over here, I'm just gonna quickly copy the styles. Come back, paste it, save it. Are those URLs actual images? They are not. Ooh, right. You are right. They are not the actual images. You need the URI, I think. I think so. So this is the URL to that particular Pokemon. So if we go to a browser and if we check this, see, this is giving us the information of the Pokemon and not the image. So that's not a problem. That's fine. And our time is up as well. So we did good, right? So we created an app which listed out 10 Pokemons on our page. So if we do 100, let's just change this to 100. Save this, come back, and now if we see this is now a scrollable list, right? Now I know it does not look so good because we had 10 minutes, right? So it's not possible to, add styling, at least for me. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna try to explain what we did in this quick 10 minutes because I know we did a lot of things. So the first thing is we use again the sample app that the React Native generates for us. And what we did was, let's quickly hide these parts, right? So we wanted to make a request to a URL, right? And one way to do is to use the fetch function. So we use the fetch function to make a call to our URL. We then the response that we got, we converted to JSON, and then that particular JSON we are setting it to a state in React. So if you are not too sure about what state is, think of it, as an object or as a variable where you can, store the information for your application, and every time the state changes, uh, React will, perform any kind of action that you have configured. Now this is not a good definition of state, but just think of it as kind of a variable to, store information right now. So we have a state. So we are having a state. We call it Pokemon data, and we have a set Pokemon data, right? So this is basically a function. So if you see, we use set Pokemon data to store the information that got written. And this is something that we don't really need. And we also don't really want the returns. If we don't have the return, that's completely fine. When we are also adding a catch over here, so if it turns into an error, we want to display out the error. So this is the error. Now with use effect, what we are doing is we are just, telling whenever the app opens, whenever the app loads, we run the get data function. So basically call this function, uh, call this function and run the set Pokemon data function. So basically add this information to our set function, our Pokemon data object. And then we are gonna move ahead, right? So this is all that we did with this. and I see there is a message that I should respond to. So, hey Swift, Swift is here. So yes, Swift, we are running pretty much on time, so you won't have to delay your stream. All right, and talking about how to render this. So what we did right now, we just got the data from the API, and now we want to render this. So we came here, we are using a flat list. This is a component that this is a component. Sorry, I just got distracted by the message in the chat. It's Ryan, not Swift. All right, sorry, Ryan. All right, so coming back to our application, so we are using flat list, which is again and a component that React Native provides. So this is a scrollable component, and within this component, we are telling it that this is the data that we want to use, right? And what are the extractors? Now, if you have used React or Vue or any such platforms, right? And if you have tried to map the data, you would have come across this that you would always have to use a key to identify these objects individually. And that's what we are doing over here. And then we are passing on and render item, which takes an object. And with this object, we're telling it, yeah, it is an item which contains the name and the URL. And we're just passing on this whole component that we want. So this can, contain other stuff as well. So maybe again a text, which would actually contain the URL, because we learned that item.url is not the image, but the URL of that particular Pokemon. So if we now come in here, we can see the URL, right? So this was a fun 10-minute challenge that we were able to complete. And we also learned how we can create a React app and how we can make API calls with that. So thank you everyone for joining in. I really hope you enjoyed the stream and we learned a lot. I learned a lot and I'm sure you also learned a lot. So just to do a quick 2-minute recap, we started with creating application with no code using Bravo Studio. So that was fun. We learned how we can create designs in Figma and actually build apps with that. So that was really fun. And then we switched to React Native to just do a fun 10-minute challenge. So yes, Kanha, we did switch to React Native to have a little fun. And I just thought of, why not challenge ourselves and create an app. So again, thank you all for joining in. It was really fun. And I know that was awesome. Thank you for that. So if you run into any questions, if you run into any issues, any problem, hit me up and I would be happy to, help you with creating apps either with Flutter, React Native, or Bravo Studio. And Ryan and Mary are gonna take over the live stream. So I'm gonna hand it over to them. That's gonna be an interesting live stream. Let me quickly check what they are gonna do. Okay, so it looks like they are gonna update the leaderboard. Wow. And I know a lot of you people are waiting for that. So I'm gonna go now. Thank you all for joining in, and I wish you all a great day ahead. Have a nice day.